what's the problem with the people in Spain, in academia? 550 years ago, the Spanish conquerors were sailing to the west, Middle and South America. And the first one to feel what they were capable of doing were Guanches living on Canary Islands. Very peaceful community, but very developed. They were building stone cities, pyramids, temples, irrigation channels. But they did not have a military because they did not have an enemy. Over the next few decades, in the 16th century, Spanish totally wiped them out from the face of the planet. And today, in order to justify those acts, they are saying, oh, Guanches were primitive, barbaric, caveman level. So they falsify the history. You go on the other side of the African continent, the island of Mauritius, in the middle of the Indian Ocean, 5,000 miles away. 7 stepstone pyramids, volcanic stone, 4 sides, plateau on the top, the same height, the same width, cornerstones nicely shaped. I've done the measurements over there. For example, one of the pyramids has a square base, the length of the size 24 meters 95 centimeters, 24.95, 24.95, 24.95. This side looks at the east, at the sunrise during the summer solstice. So I wrote the report, sent it to the government of Mauritius, and I suggested that we start investigating those pyramids together. They sent me a letter back claiming, Dr. Osmanagic, we don't have pyramids. What you are describing is simple pile of rocks made by local farmers while de-rocking the area. Pile of rocks. What is their problem? According to every encyclopedia, every internet source, until the 16th century, this island was not inhabited. And then white Europeans came. Spain, Portugal, Italy, Holland, UK. Of course, Europeans never built pyramids. So who did? In order to answer that question, they would need to change the history. The government doesn't like that. So, who to believe? Our own eyes or governments? This is one of the pyramids in El Salvador, El Chihuahua. Unless we could see the steps and few stones, we would never say that it was a structure a long time ago. In the Mexican state of Tabasco, the main city of Comalcalco, first view looks natural. In fact, it used to be a beautiful paved avenue with the step pyramids to the left. The ones to the right have been cleared and reconstructed partially. The most artistic man's town was the city of Copan in western Honduras. 1987 until 1989, the archaeologists from Honduras and the US were cleaning pyramids from the trees. And they discovered that inside the biggest one, there was excellent preserved temple, 700 years older than the pyramid itself. Obviously, in this particular case, pyramid has a purpose of being a cover, a protection for something even more valuable. Now, entrance to the temple, above, to the left and to the right, we can see something that reminds us of vehicles. Exactly on the top is a symbol for our solar system. Above that symbol, the white one, is the symbol for the core of the galaxy, the Hunabku. Look one more time. To the left, wheels, body of the vehicle, the cabin, and inside we can see the profile of Mayas with their big noses. This temple is over 2,000 years old. who had vehicles in the jungles of Honduras over 2,000 years ago? Or is the message for us that the Mayans were capable of moving between our solar system and the core of the galaxy thousands of years back? And how did they acquire all this knowledge about the astronomy? How did they know that our solar system moves within our galaxy, Milky Way, and that one cycle lasts almost 26,000 years, which will end December 21st this year, and a new cycle will start. In a tiny Belize, over 1,000 Mayan cities, towns, and villages, every one of them would have several pyramids, most of them still buried in the jungle. The biggest pyramid in Casablanca, El Salvador, partially reconstructed. And now we go to southern Peru. It's a beautiful country. 50 miles south from famous Nazca lines is a place called Cavachi. 7 years ago, talking to the Italian archaeologists, I found out that they discovered 3-step pyramids. 3 years ago, when I talked to them again, and I visited the place again, now they're talking about 34 pyramids. Who built the city of pyramids in Cavachi? Everything they tell us about it is wrong. They call this city the Sun City. We don't know its real name. They said that it was built by the Nazca culture. Again, wrong. Never in history the culture under that name existed. There is a modern Nazca town though. They're saying that the city was built 1,800 years ago. I asked them if they found any organic material in the pyramids. They said yes. In one of them, which they called the Pyramid of the Moon, they discovered the female bones, which was 4,500 years old. I asked them, how is it possible to discover a piece of organic material inside the structure? And the bone is 4,500, and the structure is only 1,800 years old? Their problem is the official history is only 3,000 years old. So they falsify. We go to the north of this beautiful country, area of Tucumán. 250 pyramids. This is the biggest one, the Pyramid of the Sun. The pyramids in Peru are built from the adobe bricks. If you clean the walls a little bit from the desert sand, you're going to find beautiful walls. In the case of this particular one, we can see the vertical erosion. Obviously, the pyramids have been exposed to the storms and the rains for a very prolonged time. Now, the problem for the archaeologists is that for 7,000 years, in this area, the climate has been the same. It's dry, it's desert, it's sunny. No rains, no storms. So when did we have those storms? 8,000, 12,000, 50,000 years ago. This is the biggest pyramid in Peru, Huaca del Sol, the Pyramid of the Sun. Again, adobe bricks were used to build the structure. What we have left today from the pyramid, we can see that it took 150 million bricks to build the structure. Across is another one, Huaca de la Luna, the Pyramid of the Moon. Another 150 million of adobe bricks. There is a calculation which says that it would take 300 years, 15,000 people to build this complex. Two problems. The first one, around not a few houses were discovered for the workers. We would need a city of 50,000 people to build this complex. And second, even if in the future those cities are found, the question is why would you start building a complex which will last 300 years? And the grandchildren of your grandchildren will not be there to see it finished. The most northern pyramids in Mexico is a place called Tula. According to all history books, Tula was the capital of Toltec civilization from the 8th to the 12th century. If you're talking to Mexican Indians, they will tell you Toltecs, they are not a culture. Toltecs are the most sophisticated and the most spiritual people that belong to Mayas and other cultures. But let's say that they were a separate culture. Today, only 3 pyramids were reconstructed. On top of one of them, we can see those 8 stone columns. They call them Atlanteans. Toltecs, for themselves, they say they came from east, from the Red Country. East, from Mexico, is the Atlantic Ocean. And every column shows the face. Every face shows different race and different color. Black and white and yellow and red. Who had the knowledge about the people from all continents? Hundreds and hundreds of years ago, before white Europeans came to the American continent. They tell us in the history books that there was no communication between continents until 16th century. They teach us wrong. Monte Alban is the second largest ceremonial city on the Mexican soil. This is one of the pyramids which has not been cleaned and reconstructed yet, waiting for the better times and more money.